We never really get to play that because we usually have questions throughout the show, so I just want to play it. That was it.
Well, the only other thing that I wanted to throw out there was obviously this week we got Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle, and Tampa Bay all on bye week. If you own players from those teams, you already know that. Next week, there will be no bye weeks. So really preparing for this week and getting through next week. The following week, Carolina and Arizona. Very few people are going to get hit by that bye week. Week 14. Do not wait until week 14 to plan for your bye weeks. We have another 16 bye. Granted, it's not going to be as bad as the last one, but we've got Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, Indy, who could be the number one offense in the league by then. I don't know. Jeff Saturday, he's the leader of men. And then New Orleans and Washington. But the really scary part about that Week 14 bye is that the playoffs are going to be decided with that week. Do not wait. Plan ahead. Go look and see who you have on Week 14 buys, and don't take a loss that late in the season when it could have been prevented had you been a little proactive now. So go out there and get them.
I like it.
I don't want to hear nothing about when we come on here next week about how you beat me in a league where I don't have anybody playing.
I'm just saying, I don't think you beat me. I don't think either of you beat me this year.
I'm pretty sure I have.
You can go back and look, though.
I will. I have Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, Godwin, Geno Smith, Ezekiel Elliott's out. Khalil Herbert just went on IR.
So Nicole just asked a question. There are definitely two schools of thought to that, Nicole. Either to have that player's immediate backup, which is actually really important with running backs. We talk about handcuffs sometimes. The running back position is the one position wherein you can have their backup who could be a decent player who can just step in and fill that role. It's a little harder with wide receivers. And the other way to go about it would be to have a second player from a different team that you just keep on your bench in case something happens to the player you're starting. Both are highly recommended.
I would say Nicole too, especially with you in Dynasty now. Like Dynasty is the perfect place to have I have the Zeke Pollard. Like I have Zeke who's like the guy, but then I have the younger backup and Pollard. So now that Zeke's been hurt, Pollard's been a perfect step in. I'm gonna ignore Anthony because I'm actually trying to help Nicole. Anthony, and you're being very rude. Anyway, in Dynasty, I would suggest getting the handcuff for sure.
Yes. Anything to add to that?
They're going to Sophie's chair.
That,
Damn, so.
Yeah. The only, okay, so first of all, make sure you have the roster spots on your bench. If you need like a backup quarterback because of a bye week or another receiver because of a bye week, anything like that, don't sacrifice a roster spot to keep a backup running back. It's not bad to have a handcuff, but I would look at like who the starter is and go based off of their usual longevity or injury history.
That's like in Dynasty, you have
how high I prioritize having their handcuff on my bench.
Here you go, Nicole. So this is actually a really great example. Between the two leagues we were talking about tonight, the Let's Talk Football League, I drafted Jalen Hurts. In the Jerry World League, I drafted Russell Wilson. In one league, I do not need a backup quarterback. Obviously, the risk of injury is great in this game. However, there is no quarterback out there that I'm ever going to start over Jalen Hurts. The only time I got a second quarterback was when Hurts was on a bye. In the other league, I am actually rostering two quarterbacks probably from now until the end of the year because I'm streaming them. Because I don't have a clear-cut number one. For the quarterback position, if you have a good one, I wouldn't waste the roster spot to keep someone on your bench in case the worst happens. But if it's a lesser player, then yeah, I would roster two and just roll with it, see who's producing, and don't be afraid to let somebody go. I'm stuck with Marcus Mariota and Danny Dimes.
Yeah. I would say there's one league I have like Trevor Lawrence and Geno Smith. Another league I have Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow, and I just refuse to drop them.
I thought those were my league-winning picks, to be honest. It was in the 6th round of both drafts. I took my quarterbacks in the 6th round, and I took Jalen Hurts in one, but I didn't want to put all my eggs in that one basket, and I was really torn. I was really torn between the two, and I was like, okay, over here, I'm going to go Jalen Hurts and Michael Pittman. And over here, I'm going to go Russ with the Cortland Sutton stack.
So, no, Nicole, I don't usually, unless I know the person. Like, I mean, a lot of leagues I'm in, or because I'm in so many, I don't talk to them directly. Sometimes most of the time, I just shoot a trade over, like just send the trade and wait to see what happens. David loves to do the low ball start and see how they do, see what they respond with to try and get to the actual trade he's okay making. So sending like lesser players than you want, and then seeing if they respond, even if they're interested. Andrew is another one that does that a lot.
If Andrew tries to trade you, don't accept it. I don't care who he's giving you. I don't care who you're giving up. Don't do it.
Just he sends out feeler trades just to see if you'll even counter.
And he goes for your feels. Like he'll just throw a Saints player in there because he'll be like, oh, I know she likes the Saints. I'm gonna throw this person in there. Andrew is the devil when it comes to trading. Don't trade him.
But to answer your question, no, you don't have to ask. Go ahead, David.
100% of the time, Nicole, I never enter into a trade without trying to open a dialogue first with that person. I don't just like blindly send trade requests to people because you don't know what they want. They don't know what you want. You can look at their roster and be like, oh, that dude sucks, but they might really like that guy. You know, whatever. I always start the conversation in a private message and open the dialogue with, this is what I want.
He does do this.
And you have one of those.
He never done that to me.
He did it to me, and I ignored him.
You have something I want. This is what I'm willing to offer if I have like these 4 players. All 4 of these guys are on the board. Like what are you interested in? Just get them talking, and you will very quickly figure out whether or not you guys are going to be able to come to a trade, or if no, this is just not going to work, and then save your time.
Well, people just send me trades, and I'm like, nope, not that one. I'm not giving up that one. That's a big
And
no.
yes, I do. You always want to start a little light on your side because they might like the player that you're offering. And yes, you want to give up the least amount and get the most that you possibly can. So start there. But I always, every one of those trades where I kind of lowball a little bit at the beginning, I already have the second player that's a tier up that I'm willing to give. If they didn't like that first, okay, well, what if I went up to so-and-so? It improves your negotiating, your stance with the person as you go through it, if you can offer more as you go through. If you start at your highest bid and they don't, and then they want even more than that, then it's like, okay, this fell apart quickly. But if you start somewhere where you're comfortable and then you move closer to, I don't want to give this guy up, but I will if I have to, then you guys are more likely to come to a trade that works for both of you because both people are getting what they want. Unless you're my brother Dylan, in which case he thinks that Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Walker, and Ramondre Stevenson are not worth Christian Cup. Don't worry, he's adopted, and we have doctors who are coming in to kind of work with him and maybe figure out what happened. But yeah.
Or you're just married to somebody and you say, hey, I want them.
What's that?
I said, or you're just married to people in the league and you're like, hey, will you give me that person? And it's like, okay.
Well, my thing in all my leagues, maybe kind of relevant to what Nicole's talking about, but in all these leagues, I was extremely deep at running back. And I needed wide receiver help. So in a lot of these, I was trying to trade up. So I'm trying to trade 2 to 3 players for 1 player. And every single trade offer I've sent out has been a 2 or 3 player for 1. If you're on the opposite, where you only have 1 or 2 good players and the rest of your roster is struggling, like Ash always says, if it's not working, move on. Try something different. You know, if you're that person who's, you know, 3-7 and you have Cooper Kupp, you might want to look at moving Cooper Kupp. Get 2 or 3 good players that you can start.
We can't do that now, but.
Yeah. My
Like
bad.
Justin Jefferson or like AJ Brown.
Well, I'll be keeping a close eye on DeAndre Hopkins this next week.
Jalen Hurts, if you need him in a league, you should look at that.
No, I have him in a league.
Yeah, it's worth it for the sanity of being a Cowboys fan.
Ash, do you remember what I named my team in the Let's Talk Football League for the first 6 weeks?
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, Jalen's going to hurt us both by the end of the year.
My name in a league is Poverty Franchise. I was Fantasy Queen. I changed it to Fantasy Peasant because I suck.
I saw that. It made me so sad. Like, I literally was about to press the button. I went in and found a GIF. There was, like, the hugs, and I found, like, one puppy dog, like, hugging the other puppy dog.
It's painful. I'm not doing good.
You guys got any bets for the week?
Nah, it's too early. It looks like it's going to snow a lot in Buffalo, so I'm thinking of under there for Buffalo, but that's about all I got right now.
I've got mine. I'm calling it the Twilight Zone parlay. All right.
Can't wait to
So, and we got to talk about this for 1 second. The work pick'ems. Sydney, did you watch? Did you see what happened? I am in a work pool. We just pick winners, and at the end, everybody scores the Monday night game as the tiebreaker. I won. I won this week. That's 5 wins in 8 weeks. I don't think they're going to let me play anymore. If the total score of the game was 49 and up, then I won outright. If it was 48, I tied with the person next. And if it was 47, then she won. Did everybody see the final play of that game last night?
Touchdown, put it over. Look at you.
the
Look at
last
you.
like, seconds.
Oh, I'd already conceded. I texted her. I was like, you're going to win. You're going to win. Good game, good game. I won again. Anyway, going into this week, it's the Twilight Zone parlay because in no parallel universe should Jeff Saturday be able to step into a head coaching job and beat the team that he was just talking trash about on social media. Like, they should have been mad enough just about that to go and win the game. And the other side of that will be Philly, because in no freaking parallel universe should Philly have lost that game last night. So the world is going to be righted this week. Philly, and I'm going to be taking a lot of overs for Jalen Hurts, for AJ Brown. I think Miles Sanders might have a good day, and I think Indy comes crashing back down to earth. So that's where I'm going this week. I like Philly over Indy.
I like it. I like it a lot. Shoot us over those, and we'll post them with ours.
Yeah.
And so you can, and then we'll talk about them on our show Sunday night for the Sunday night game. Tune in. We'll be on live during the halftime game.
Do I get to come hang out with you guys?
Dude, you're always invited.
You love.
Literally always.
Yeah.
I promise
We
I
have
won't sit
this
in front
set
of
up so we can like sit.
There's room for you.